Today we are testing out the Sony A7C's built-in steady shot along with Sony's new Catalyst browse software for stabilization up against the Moza Air 2 gimbal. What's up guys, my name is George. I'm a freelance video marketer based in the north of England. On this channel I cover tech, filmmaking and freelancing, so if that is your vibe then hit subscribe and welcome to the channel. Today we are testing out the Sony A7C's built-in 5-axis stabilization, just the center stabilization, the steady shot, and also Sony's new Catalyst browse software, which uses gyro data from your Sony camera to then stabilize in post. I've tried this once already and it is pretty impressive, but it's a completely different approach to electronic stabilization. I was previously a Canon user and the E-stabilization on Canon cameras was pretty good, but only if you were doing certain movements, not if you were tracking something too perfectly, because it would start to create sort of jello effect. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Catalyst browse software compares to the built-in steady shot, so the in-body stabilization, as well as a 3-axis gimbal. The 3-axis gimbal we're going to be using is the Moza Air 2. I've had this for nearly 2 years. It's been my go-to gimbal for the last 2 years on all my professional work. I absolutely love this gimbal. If it was to break, I would buy it again. It's fantastic. And this tends to work really well with heavier cameras. The Sony A7C is quite lightweight, especially because we're using it with the Tamron 17-28 wide-angle lens f2.8. But on a gimbal, sometimes you benefit from having a heavier setup to be able to get a lot more stabilization in the way that you carry the camera. I've been out in Leeds this week shooting some test shots using the Sony A7C's built-in 5-axis stabilization, along with some non-stabilized footage that we can then stabilize within Catalyst browse, and some footage using the Moza Air 2. All of the shots that I've used are side-by-side comparisons, so we're going to be able to look at all of these together and see what the results are like from each. Before we get into the Catalyst browse software, I'd like to thank you guys for sponsoring today's video. If you've been watching my videos for a while and you feel like supporting the channel, I have a buy me a coffee link in the description below, where you can support the channel by buying me what is the equivalent of a coffee. If you feel like supporting the channel in that way, it is always massively appreciated. But if not, just remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let's get on into Catalyst browse. So we can see within the software here, I've got a folder open, which is from my test shots, and I've just got them labeled A7C, and they are my underpass shots because we shot them in an underpass. I've got a few of the shots here labeled that I know are the ones I want to test with. I'm just going to turn my volume down in case it starts playing stuff out, so we can see the footage originally here. This is just a simple moving in and out shot up in this preview window here, which is unstabilized. I know this is one of the shots that I've done that can be stabilized because I have not used in-body 5-axis stabilization. So on this clip, we can then see down at the bottom here, we have the option to stabilize. So I'm going to hit stabilize here. It's analyzed it for me and it's cropped in a whole lot. What we want to do is go up to manual at the top, and we can see here it's cropped down, so we're only seeing 45.2% of the image, which isn't very useful. That will be to get you the absolute max crop factor. This is a 4K image, luckily, so if you were to export this on a 1080p timeline, which I am for the purpose of this video, I could crop this in anywhere from 5 to 20% and be quite happy with it. So we're going to crop this one at 90%. And then let's see how this is compared. So we can see the window on the right is our stabilized clip. The window on the left is our pre-stabilized clip, which is great because this gives us a very nice before and after to see what we're going to get. So we've got Said the Bear here just posing, and this is our post-stabilized clip. That's just a 10% crop. I mean, that's still not going to beat the Moza, just because I mean, I hope it doesn't. Or maybe I hope it does. That's really good. That's very nice. Let's see this one more time. And we go for a bit of movement. So we've got Said the Bear there. This is cropped at 20%, 80% of the image. This looks real nice, guys. This looks real nice. Okay, so I've cropped this one at 20%, which I think that kicks absolute ass. So I'm just going to hit export on this one. When we come to transcoding the footage after we've done our stabilization, we get a lot of options such as color space, format, frame size, etc. I'm going to leave all of these as same as source, but then we have render preset at the bottom. It's saying best match 4K 60 megabytes a second. This was actually shot at 100 megabytes a second. So I'm actually going to use 100 megabytes a second, which is an option down here. And then crop type, none, encode, optimize image quality. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna export that. Just for the first time using this software all the way through and exporting a clip, this is kind of reminiscent of like the old GoPro software, the GoPro Studio software, where you'd sort of import all the footage and then make it digestible by like old NLEs like Final Cut Pro 7 and like, I don't know, Premiere Pro CS6 and stuff like that. This does definitely add time to your overall editing process, because every time you're having to ingest footage, you are having to put it through Catalyst Browse to then post stabilize all of your footage. But from the example I've just seen, from the comparison side by side with the original footage on some basic walking in and out shots, that's pretty good. I mean, I was walking in and out fairly ninja walky, I was trying to walk how I would with a gimbal, trying to get it as smooth handheld as possible on that lens without any other stabilization, because these Tamron lenses are not stabilized. There's no in-body stabilization on these lenses, so when you turn off the 5-axis on the camera body as well, you are going completely raw. So having the option to stabilize in post like this, if it is as good as that, then you know, this opens up a whole world of possibilities. So next thing we'll do is we'll load up each of these in DaVinci Resolve and we'll compare them side by side with the steady shot footage and with the Moza Air 2 footage.
Not a statistic, a little too cryptic. About as much hope as a poor man's wish list. Don't give rap it, claim that it's Christmas. Gonna go down regardless of his mistress. Heard you miss this, that's a sick trick. Put your name down, I'll add you to the hit list. Step on your pride and count out my Fitbit. Acting too slow, but thinking too quick. Sit next to you, teach smoke a spliff, that's a near miss. The kids don't do as I do, just do as I did. Cause all I do now is try to score hits. Got money on my mind that makes my mind sick. Counting my cash while scratching my If I don't die trying, and I guess I get rich. Whatever monkey say, monkey do. Yeah, they say that money talks, how much is true. Whatever monkey say, monkey do.
I like provocative.
I like provocative, the llama put a sock in it to sleep when you're dead. Mindset that we're allotted with. I was a spotty kid to sort you smoke a shotty with the type to split tens when the money that you got is I like provocative, the llama put a sock in it to sleep when you're dead. Mindset that we're allotted with. I was a spotty kid to sort you smoke a shotty with the type to split tens when the money that you got is whatever monkey say, monkey do. Yeah, they say that money.
If you're for 1 second thinking that you might want to try and replace bringing a gimbal with you on some shoots and you want to use Catalyst Browse as a sort of fallback stabilization software instead, I would think it's very important to think about the sort of shoot you are doing. If it's something where bringing a gimbal is just completely out of the question, say if you're bringing your camera as a travel camera and you just want to shoot a few little bits of video and have the option to stabilize later, I would definitely say Catalyst Browse is the way to go. But if you are looking at using this on any sort of client project or anything where you have freedom to bring gear and also freedom to plan your shots and maybe even storyboard, then accounting for bringing a gimbal, whether you're renting one or you already own one, or if you're considering buying one, you would definitely be in a better position for that shoot just having a gimbal with you as an option. And if you're considering buying a gimbal and you're thinking, well, what if I just got a Sony camera with Catalyst Browse post-stabilization capabilities instead? I would not say that Catalyst Browse is the way you should just go permanently. If this sort of software gets better over time, we might all be thinking later, hey, I don't even really need a gimbal for the sort of work that I do. Some people do, but some other people might not. Then maybe we'll be having a different conversation. But right now, I think having a gimbal with you is paramount. If you're on any sort of shoot where a client might say, we want this massive sweeping shot, or maybe someone hanging out the back of a car. Like, how well will Catalyst Browse do hanging out the back of a car? That's not a bad question. You know what? I might just film that test. I might just film trying out Catalyst Browse hanging out the back of a car for a cool car shoot. keep an eye out for that one very soon. Make sure you subscribe so you do not miss it. That is it from me today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any comments, questions regarding Catalyst Browse, Sony cameras, anything about using this software and how it compares to a gimbal, I'll be happy to answer any of those questions for you in the comments, or I might even make a video on it in the future. Be sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, I'm out.